Hello everyone, my name is Stacey Prince. Welcome to SGCI MakeReady 2021. I hope you're having a good time at the event and learning a lot about printmaking. Today I'll demonstrate multicolor viscosity printing. Let's get started. Viscosity printing, also known as simultaneous color printing, was developed by Stanley William Hayter, who lived in Paris in the 1920s. The principle is that tacky ink on a roller will pick up a thin layer of oily ink, creating a kind of resist effect. Ink is rolled onto the surface of the plate using hard and soft rollers with various viscosities. The plate then can be printed in one pass on the etching press. I believe that you all have initial knowledge of the intaglio process to produce a print. If not, I'll give you a brief overview of what that means. In intaglio printing, the lines to be printed are cut into metal. Various lines and tones can be created by using a variety of tools to break up the surface of the plate. Here I've used a copper plate and an etching needle to create my initial drawing or engraving. A process known as etching, for example, when the plate is pre-covered with a thin acid-resistant resin or wax ground, then the plate's ground side is dipped into ferric chloride. The corrosive salts bite into the surface of the plate where it was exposed. Biting is a printmaking term to describe the acid's etching or incising of the image. After the plate is sufficiently bitten, it is removed from the ferric chloride bath. Then the ground is gently removed and the plate is usually dried and cleaned. When applying the viscosity technique, I'm using a roller or brayer to apply multiple colors of ink to the plate with various viscosities. By using a hard and soft roller, you can apply runny or tacky inks to the layers of the textured plate. The colors will not mix, and you'll be able to ink up your plate with several different colors at once. The equipment that you'll need for viscosity printing is a brayer. Here I'm using a etched hand brayer that's a 2.5 inch in diameter and 6 inch wide. This hand brayer gives me a 7 3/4 inch rollout without a lap mark. If I have a lap mark, it'll show in the image, as I only want to make a single pass when inking. The second roller is a etched hand roller. It's rather large. The durometer for the etched hand inking roller is 35 durometer, and the smaller one is 60 durometer. So the smaller hand brayer is a hard durometer, and the larger one here is a softer 35 durometer. It's important to have various durometers of rollers for the viscosity printing. There are many ink modifiers that you can use for viscosity printing, such as Easy Wipe, linseed oil, burnt plate oil, flash oil, magnesium carbonate, just to name a few. I'm using a raw linseed oil for my low viscosity printing, and the magnesium carbonate, which I'm adding to the red ochre. This adds body and stiffens the ink while also reducing the length of the ink. I'm also using 3 copper plate runners that were cutoffs from other large plates. This allows the roller to easily have a smooth transition onto and off the plate when inking. But I did go back later and remove the rollers when I was inking up the Charbonnel red ochre ink, because the ink did not get into the surface of the plate that was needed. I first ink the plate as a regular intaglio. My preference is bone black intaglio ink for the first layer of ink. My first layer of ink is wiped into the recessed lines using a cardboard applicator. Careful not to scratch the surface. Ink and wipe as you have learned. Then I take a newsprint, or if you're lucky you have an old phone book lying around. Lay the newspaper on top of the plate and gently rub across the plate. Careful at all times not to get oils from your fingers on the plate. Then the plate is gently rubbed with tarlatan cloth. This removes some of the surface ink and helps the ink get into the incised and recessed lines. Then I mix the ink and raw linseed oil together. Careful to slowly add drops to your ink. This ink is of thinnest viscosity. It is then applied to the surface of the plate with a hard rubber roller, so that it covers the plate in one pass and only transfers into the highest areas of the plate. The roller should not pick up ink of the previous layer if the ink is prepared correctly. As I check the viscosity of the ink with the spatula, I slowly add in more linseed oil. Keep track of the quantity of modifiers used to alter the viscosity of your ink. For the second color, I have added approximately 4 drops of linseed oil to modify the ink. Then take a clean palette knife to lay out a thin layer of ink, slightly longer than the length needed for your brayer to make a complete pass. Use your hard roller and charge the ink. My plates in this series are under 4 inches in length and width. Choosing the proper size of roller and brayer for the ink up is important. Find the diameter of the roller and multiply by pi, which is 3.14. This gives you the maximum rollout that the roller or brayer is capable of in one circular pass. This ink has very low tack, so the second color does not adhere to the textured areas. This layer can also be rolled out multiple times to create the desired opacity. My final color is for the high viscosity. Here I'm using a soft durometer roller and the red ochre ink. I felt that out of the can it was too opaque, so I've added a transparent base to lighten it and added in magnesium carbonate. I'm cleaning my slab due to a small workspace, but if you have a larger area, you can keep your inks in one space and roll out in a separate area. Rollout length refers to the length a roller will lay down ink without a lap mark. My larger roller has a diameter of 6 3/4 inches, so that equates to a 21 1/4 length pass. Initially I was using the 3 small copper plates as runners, but the first inking did not touch the plate in the desired areas, so I removed the runners and started over. The soft rollers only reach sections of the plate, and the inks with differing viscosities either mix together or resist each other. The varying viscosities of the two rolled on inks prevent them from mixing. This leads to color separation. In closing, I leave you with a quote from Krishna Reddy. In the hands of the artist, printmaker, the intaglio plate, the materials, and the techniques form a web of dynamic, continuous patterns in which the artist is an active participant. In this way, printmaking becomes a living art, a path of learning and discovery through which to express oneself.